Hello, everyone. Buongiorno. Mm. Buongiorno. Hola. Bonjour. Hello. So, it was late 1999. I love all my Roman Latin sublanguages. I love all of them. All of them. Don't matter. English, German, French, Spanish, Italian, Dutch, Portuguese, Greek, all of it. So, anyhow, it was late 1999. I took $1,000 in cash. My U.S. Army issued duffel bag filled with my items, a guitar and a guitar case that I couldn't play a single chord, bar chord of. Nothing. And I went there with the vision of conquering my ancestral Roman, Latin, Italian, Greek, Mediterranean conceived arts and sciences like no one ever has, and in ways that Andy Warhol never has and never would, despite being the most successful visual fine artist of the 20th century. And despite his paintings and pieces selling for the amounts of money that they did. So I had this grand vision already when I arrived to this international hostel on 103rd and Amsterdam Avenue, nearby Columbia University in Manhattan, New York City, New York. So within the first week of being there, I was befriended by MISAKI Kawai, the either granddaughter or great-granddaughter of the inventor and creator of all Kawai musical instruments, as in the Kawai piano, the Kawai keyboard. Her grandfather or great-grandfather pioneered one of the very first electronic synthesized keyboards in the early 1920s out of Okinawa, Japan. Synthesized keyboards in the early 1920s out of Okinawa, Japan. But he was mentored by Yamaha, as in the company Yamaha, as in Yamaha Motors, as in Yamaha musical instruments. So Misaki Kawai is either the granddaughter or great-granddaughter of Kawai himself, and Kawai was mentored by Yamaha. So after her great-grandfather, I'm going to say it's her great-grandfather. After Misaki's great-grandfather was mentored by Yamaha himself, he started his own shop and company, Kawai. Kawai musical instruments have been used in every stadium and arena of the entire planet of Earth by the absolute very top gods and goddesses of pop history and culture of the last, I don't know, like over half a century plus. One great example, right at the very beginning of the Prince movie, which is the follow-up movie to Purple Rain, called Under the Cherry Moon. The very opening scene of Prince's 1985 movie, Under the Cherry Moon, his character of the Under the Cherry Moon movie is playing on an all-white piano, on an all-white Kawai piano, on a rotating stage in the lounge bar room where he was employed in the movie in Nice in southern France. So when you see the piano, it's a beautiful all-white piano with Kawai engraved in my Roman Latin letters in gold in the very center back of the piano in gold on white. It says Kawai. So that's Misaki's great-grandfather. So when I was at this international hostel on 103rd and Amsterdam Avenue with only $1,000 in cash on me, that's what I had. This was the tail end of 1999. We saw each other in the lobby of the hostel, and we just instantaneously, magically clicked. So she was very fond of me, and she called me King. She never called me George. I went by George then. I didn't go by Jorge. I didn't do the switch yet. She called me King. So I think I asked her, you don't have to call me King. Can you just call me George? She said, no. You are King. I call you King. I said, wow. She used to say to me, I'll never forget this about Misaki. She's good. Me, Misaki Kawai, the great granddaughter of Kawai himself, she used to say to me, me low key, you high key. So, I was traveling back and forth at that time on Amtrak through the Northeast Regional Line because I still was a member of the newspaper La Nación USA, whose and its office on Champlain Street in the Adams Morgan area. And the president and publisher of La Nación USA gave me a press pass, and I was also doing advertising sales for the paper. So I was going back and forth from DuPont Circle, DC, Adams Morgan, to the Hostel, right? I think like once or twice. And in that time, we spent time strictly clean time. And one day I was out in the courtyard of the hostel, and she said to me, I can myself to you. I can make you happy. I can do what you want, and I can be there for you. And I took that as a proposal. I just wasn't ready. I mean, I just wasn't in a position to do that. And if I were a money-grubbing sleazeball, I would have instantaneously said yes, even if I didn't want to, because I believe that family, if I'm correct, I think they're billionaires. I think Kawai Musical Instruments Company is a multi-billion-dollar company. So if I were an absolute sleazeball, and if I were disingenuous and wanted to use her and just go, yeah, yes, it appears that I could have. But that's just not who I am. And I had respect for her. And I said, I'm sorry, but, the answer is no. I'm came here on a mission. I have a mission. I have a purpose in life. And so she ended up meeting another artist. By the way, she ended up becoming an extremely successful visual fine artist at the highest level. And she's had her exhibitions featured all over the world. Her fine art masterpieces, they are masterpieces. They stand up to 20 to 30 feet high. Her pieces are colossal. They're huge pieces. So, she is a genius. The woman is a genius visual fine artist. She is a genius. Okay. I remember even back then, see, that's the thing. We crossed paths while I was at the beginning of my mission and while she was at the beginning of her mission to become this big visual artist. See how that works? So, I think she was inviting me proposing to me to be a partner with her on this journey together. But that wasn't in the cards for me then. Okay. So, and other reasons too, in all honesty, and that's okay, because it's all a matter of choice, and it's all a matter of independence and freedom. As long as you're not trying to, as long as you're not trying to be condescending and spiteful about it, and you're being genuine with yourself and with them, that's what matters. Okay. But anyway, she had these dolls she made of the Beatles. Oh, they were wonderful looking. And they were like this tall. They really were. Here, let me show you real quick. Here. All right, hold on. It's like size here. Yeah, it's like Colossus. Come here, boy. Okay, so they were like this size. This is Colossus. He's mine. My guys, for my daughter and I, it's Colossus. I got him at the St. Mark's comic book store on St. Mark's Place, across from the Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti building. We'll get into that. That's another video log. That's the 25th of September, 2016. On the very step where Scarlett Page's dad, Jimmy Page, sat for the Physical Graffiti double LP front to back album cover. But I'm not going to mix apples and oranges, because then every video log would be like way too long. So anyway, here. So she made dolls of the Beatles, and they were like this size, and it was incredible. It was really, I knew she had something going on. Oh, I love you, Colossus. And so anyway, she, if she knew where I sit and stand now eternally, I think it would blow Misaki away. She would be like, wow. Because remember, she called me king. She said, you high key. She even predicted it back then. She would gesture that I wasn't just the highest key on a piano. And remember, this is from the great-granddaughter of the man who created the first electric synthesized freaking keyboard in the 1950s and 1920s. This is his great-granddaughter saying this to me. So she would say, this is Misaki Kawai of Kawai Musical Instruments, saying, you high key. But what she would do with her hand, she wouldn't just stop at the highest key and of the highest octave on the keyboard. She would go like this into the stratosphere. She said, you high key. See what I mean? It's like she was a visionary. She could see. Maybe that's why she proposed that we be partners. It's like she could see my genius even before I could. She said, you high key. So here I am now. She was right. All right. So with that said, Misaki, I'm so happy. I looked you up on the internet, I think a few years ago. And I think I learned that you're a mother now, and I'm really happy and proud of you. I saw on the internet how you've had exhibitions at galleries all over the world, and that you got contracted with a toy company out of Holland, and they distribute and make toys throughout the world, and it's your artwork that's on their toys. So I'm really proud of you. Now to end this, I remember when I learned that she met a New York City local artist by the name of Taylor McMickens. And I believe, if I'm right, I could be wrong, they started dating, and I was really happy for her. I went to her exhibition. In Manhattan, and I think it was her and Taylor, and I went to the exhibition and I saw her and I said bye to her. I said bye. And I basically was just letting her know I have to carry on with my mission. But I was really happy for her. I was happy for her. I loved seeing all of those people in the gallery, and I loved seeing her with her new partner. And I think I shook his hand. And then I looked at her and I said, I have to go. I said, I have purpose. I said, I have mission. I have to keep going. And she just looked at me and I left. It was like out of a movie. And I haven't seen her since. So, on that note, this is Jorge Estrada, DC, Dicer Mutatio Formulae, the Roman Emperor of nuked all clearism.